Well, before we move on with the songs of art, I thought that I might do a couple of originals for you this evening.
Will you be my friend again? Will you hold my hand and then will you smile at me with those eyes that never end? Will you touch me with your heart? Right again and light that spark. I love you when you let me in. Fell away from each other's hearts, lost our way and then forgot our part. No, you're not that far away. Can you live to love another day? Remember when you were my one? You were all I've ever done, and I've loved you with all my life. I am lost without your charms, wanna fall back in your arms. Can you live to love me one more time? Fell away from each other's hearts, lost our way and then forgot our parts. No, you're not that far away. Can you live to love another day? Ba-da-da-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da. Fell away from each other's heart, lost our way and then forgot our part. No, you're not that far away. Can you live to love another day? Fell away from each other's heart, lost our way and then forgot our part. No, you're not that far away. Can you live to love another day? Another day. Another day.
Thank you very much. I don't want to bore you with original songs. However, this is being filmed right now for Latrobe TV, and because of ASCAP and all the rest of it, we have to do originals until we shut the camera off, and then we can do something that you're more familiar with. I'm just going to do one more that's not about Bill's art, and then I'll I don't know. Maybe I should do this new one. Let me tell you the story about this one, and I'll mess it up because it's new. Christmas time, and Gabby says to me, Lauren, what can I get for Harry? And I say, I don't know, just get him a bottle of Irish whiskey. And she says, I don't know about Irish whiskeys, what kind should I get? And I said, tell him more do. And she said, tell me more what? And something in my brain went, oh my God, that would make such a great Irish song, because I'm a little bit Irish. And so I started working on it a little bit ago. So this is rough, forgive me. But think about March for a minute.
Was a lad in town, he could tell a tale or two. Loved to spin a yarn for an audience of two. Tell you all his secrets, tell you all his lies. He had the gift of longing and the truth set in his eyes. Tell me more, tell me more, honey, do. Tell me more, do you love me? Tell me more, do. Like the Pied Piper, follow him around, hypnotized by all his words, temporary happiness was found. Tell you all his secrets, tell you all his lies. He had the gift of longing and the truth set in his eyes. Tell me more, tell me more, honey, do. Tell me more, do you love me? Tell me more, That time was his best time. He could make all the women weak. Morning comes and he was gone, and they would lie and weep. Tell you all his stories, tell you all his lies. He had the gift of longing and the truth set in his eyes. Tell me more, tell me more, honey, do. Tell me more, do you love me? Tell me more, tell me more, honey, do. Tell me more, do you love me? Tell me more, tell me more, honey, do. Tell me more, do you love me? Tell me more, do.
Thank you very much. But we'll talk about the Irish thing a little bit later. Tonight, we are celebrating Mr. Bill Perry. And just go like this, because nobody knows who you are, sir.
Hey, Bill.
All right. I have spent the last 2 months with the pleasure of sitting amongst his art. And, you know, it is our job as songwriters. The goal is to pick a piece of art, write a song about it, and say why we picked it. Which is very difficult for me, because I get to see all of them every day. And I can't pick a favorite, although that one is my favorite if we were going to talk about it, the second one in. But I love them all. And what's really fun, what's really fun about being here and watching people come in to see his paintings is A lot of them are from Italy. And people come in and they go, oh, oh, there it is. Oh, it looks just like that. Oh, this is so wonderful. And it's so fun because what you do is you take people back to a wonderful memory, which is very, very cool. I, however, have never been to Italy. So, I know it's a sad story, isn't it? Anybody that wants to go, give me a call, we can go. So what I did was I listened to what everyone had to say. And I realized that I am a stranger because I'm looking at all these pictures, but I've never been there. But because I'm looking at all these paintings, I feel like I've been there. So that is the basis of my song, although I did not pick one and I cheated. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just make sure I'm in tune before I do this, okay? Talk amongst yourselves.
Trouble.
Also, a side note on this song, Dave gave me a Christmas present, and it was about alternative tunings on guitars. Guitars normally tuned one certain way, and he gave me a DVD of how to tune a guitar differently, which I've always been fascinated with. So I was thank you. I was fooling around with that, and so this is in a drop D tuning. So.
Like a banjo too.
What? What would be actually drop G because I'm in the, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Science. So this is called, oh my God, I got Italian. This is called, I'm a Stranger in Your Town. I am a stranger in your town. I have walked your cobbled streets. I have climbed your hills. I'm a stranger in your town. I have touched your marble walls. I have tasted your sweet rain. I have felt your breath. I'm a stranger in your town. And your amber skies hold me into you. Dreams will do nothing but come true. And your amber skies hold me in to you. I'm a stranger in your town. I have floated down your streets. I have heard
stranger in your town, and your amber skies pulled me into you. Dreams will do nothing but come true, and your amber skies pulled me into you. I am a stranger in your town. I am a stranger in your town. I am a stranger in your town. I have tasted your sweet rain. I have felt your breath. I'm a stranger in your town, and your amber skies hold me into you. Dreams will do nothing but come true, and your amber skies hold me into you. I am a stranger in your town. I am a stranger in your town.
Thank you.
I thought maybe what I would do is just react to each of the songs, mainly because I didn't know what to expect, obviously. And just let me give you a little bit of background. My wife and I decided that once I had retired and she had retired, that we were going to learn about teachers, and that we would go to Italy. Her family was from Italy, my family was from Italy, a little more anonymous than her family, but nevertheless they were from Italy as well. And we were going to explore Italy. So we had planned a 10-week vacation, you could call it a vacation, and we were a stranger in a lot of towns too. The first 5 weeks took us through most of the northern part of Italy, and when we got back to Sicily, or Siena, my wife broke her ankle, and that was 5 weeks into our trip. Prior to that, we were spending most of our time on public transportation, and public transportation in Italy is fantastic. You can get anywhere you want to go, and you can get there very well. And even though we were strangers in all the cities that we were, we never really felt like strangers. Not because we were Italian, but because the Italian people make you feel so comfortable with their country. Well, anyhow, she broke her ankle, and we had to come home. And the second half of our trip, we took up the next fall. And this time, however, we rented a little Fiat, and we traveled on our own. And it made all the difference in the world. My wife was skillful enough to use the internet to book us places from here to there, but every town that we encountered was really because we were able to navigate there. And if you've ever been on tiny little winding Italian roads, you have some idea of what it is from getting from one place to another. So when Lauren tells you that you're a stranger in somebody's town, that's the way we felt. The roads were often so narrow that you couldn't even pull over to let another car go by. You had to back up, or he had to back up, in order to make passage one way or the other. And so when I came home, especially after the second half of our trip, I was really inspired to paint just a little piece of what I saw. But there's so much more when I look at the painting that is inherent in that information that the visual gives you. And I think really Lauren captured the overall feeling of the entire show. So thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
And what did Bill say before we started? I am not saying a word. Okay, who's next?
Can we put a guy between us and a bunch of girls?
Rich.
Somebody better move. Come on, Red.
Huh? Oh, you got your hat?
Well,
For those of you who don't know, this gentleman's name is Rich Gibson. Not only is he a wonderful, wonderful singer, he also builds his own guitars. So I keep saying really nice things about him. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink.
Well, I'm new to this songwriting experience, and many of you guys know that have been here. I say that I don't play guitar. I'm in awe of people that can play guitar. I know basically 3 chords, so I sing a lot of country songs. But after coming in here several weeks and watching Mr. Perry's work, and when Lauren said we had to write a song about it, I could tell it was from Italy, so I wore my closest thing to an Italian hat that I could find for you tonight. That's why I have this hat on. So usually it'd be a cowboy kind of hat, but it's not. It's an Italian hat. Okay. But one of the things that struck me was the first thing that impacted me is I couldn't pick just one painting. I walked around and around and around and around, and to me all the work seemed so warm. So many shades of yellows and tans, and I could feel the warmth of the painting. But as I started looking around, I noticed there are a lot of hints of green. And I also noticed a lot of the architecture and how tight the city was. You mentioned how tight the streets were, things like that. Especially how detailed and tight all these buildings, especially this painting right here with the road winding around, how tight that was. And I started thinking about all the little spaces between those places. And then I thought, well, we have a barista back here that's working over hot cocoa, chocolate, and coffees, and all that steam coming up and out. If you were a barista in Italy, how hot would your job be in a tiny little alcove back somewhere? And then you see the shades of green over here, and this painting right over here where there's a young woman in a little bit of a garden there, with the shades of green there. It's the second one up from the end.
Oh, yeah.
So in my mind, crazy way it works, it put all these tight structures with that little garden and the shades of green. So my song is called Cool Green Shade, and I'm trying to break out of my shell, so I'm trying not to be country. So please bear with me, because I don't do this kind of music.
You tell me.
You start off at good level, okay?
Sweat dripping off my nose in the hot sunlight. Everything in this city is feeling awfully tight. Steam floating like a fog from the summer sun. I need her, my cool green shade. Oh, she works her garden in the morning dew. As I go off to earn my pay, but I know that she'll be waiting there when I come home at the end of the day. Smoking ready for a cooling dip, strip down, shower up and take a little trip. Smelling good and strolling down a small back street. Beside her, my cool green shade. She works her garden in the morning dew. As I go off to earn my pay, but I know that you'll be waiting there when I return at the end of the day. Oh, I love my cool green shade. Yes, I love my cool green shade. She works her garden in the morning dew. As I go off to earn my pay, but I know that you'll be waiting there when I come home at the end of the day. Oh, I love my cool green shade. Yes, I love my cool green shade. Cool green shade, cool green shade, cool green shade.
Thanks, Rich. That was great. The two paintings that Rich kind of alluded to, I can give you a little more information about those. Actually, he was talking about the painting with the kind of horseshoe road, but we didn't stay there. We stayed in a place called Montepulciano, which is part of a five-city group called Cinque Terre, and we stayed right there. And as you stay in your little apartment, there are people living below you and people living above you. And you often wonder what happens if the roof leaks. Is the guy who lives on the top floor responsible for the leak, or do all the people have to share in that disaster when that happens? But they live very harmoniously. But what happens is you can see everyday's life because people do what Rich said. People take care of their flowers, and everybody has flowers. And often I'll have to remind my wife, because some of the flowers will be leaning towards the sink, that maybe they need water, but you never get that feeling in Italy. They all seem to take care beautifully of all the flowers and plants that they grow. And you never see anybody fussing over them. They just seem to take it in stride. So from that window, I could see that lady underneath the awning each morning taking care of her plants and so forth, just the way Rich captured it in his song. Thanks again, Rich. That was great.
Okay, so I just have to tell you guys something. I enjoy this evening so much that I get absolutely giddy. I just find it so interesting. It's so cool to hear Bill talk about what he's doing and the musician talk about. I just love it. Thank you so much for being here tonight and enjoying it with me, because it would be sad if I was alone. So up next we have Miss Lisa Hauser, and Lisa's an interesting person. I was just thinking about all the talent that we have in this room, because not only do we have painters and poets and writers, but you know, we have Lisa who writes music and sings music, and also, oh my God, if you ever ate her food, you would just be in heaven. That is an art as well. So we are very lucky to have a whole bunch of talent and wonderful people amongst us. So come here, please. Let's make her feel welcome. Lisa's been battling all kinds of stuff. Are you sitting?
I'm gonna sit.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. My husband and I had the opportunity to spend a couple of different times in Italy. And even though I am not Italian, I am definitely a wannabe. I was able to go to cooking school in Lucca, and we were able to go to Cinque Terre, where I learned how to make pesto. And so, as you will tell after playing this song, that this is not what I do for my day job. And I'm so thankful I have a day job. I am a chef, and I have a small catering company. And when I was a young woman, I did sing and play and write music, but it's been many years. And so when this exhibit came in, I went bananas when I saw all the Italy stuff. But I did not pick one of the paintings that would represent Italy. I just have too many stories in my mind, and I just didn't think I could spit something out that would make sense unless it was food related, and then only I would understand. So what I did was I came in with my smartphone, which is much smarter than I am, and I took photos of 5 different paintings and tried to figure out which one to write about. And one of them was the nuns in the white outfits over there, and this amazing tree. The 3 gentlemen sitting on the bench over there, and this picture of the door with the glass windows. And so I just kept looking at the pictures, and I couldn't decide. And I was looking and researching how to make furniture out of doors and windows. And so I was just obsessed with it. And so I started writing down every aspect of a door or a window. And then I got sick. And I was sick for about 3 weeks and didn't finish anything. So what you have is what I put together yesterday and this morning, and it's called Windows and Doors. Oh, I have to plug in. I'm in? Okay. You know how good I am with machines.
I know you are so good at technical stuff.
I can cook anything, but don't ask me to run a machine. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing, Lauren.
Okay. Turn it
Let's see
upside
if
down.
it works.
Got it.
Do I have the right one up?
Yep.
I don't hear anything.
Oh.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. If my voice goes on us today, just imagine some beautiful high note that's being hit. When I was a child, I waited all day to be led through the door, to go outside and play. The hands that I held, I remember were strong. They taught me the difference between right and wrong. Ooh. Then growing older, ran through the door, seeking adventure, new roads to explore. No fear of danger, walking ahead, or listening to anything children, the struggles, the ups and the downs, and finally the blessing of comfort we found. Handles and hinges, wooden thresholds, letting in light and keeping out cold, keeping in secrets or clearing the air, doors bringing treasures or leaving things bare. Windows and doors, latches and keys, open and close whenever they please, for making an entrance or hiding behind all these windows, doors of the heart and the mind. There'll come a time when we're waiting again to be let through the door, when we come to life saying, hoping you're waiting with arms open wide, in a place where we finally walk side by side. Windows and doors, latches and keys, open and close whenever they please, for making an entrance or hiding behind. There are windows and doors of the heart and the mind.
Sorry, I had to turn those antenna down.
They just have a kind of secrecy about them, because the house isn't much of a house. It's just a kind of cubicle, but there's a door, and the door is very, very distinctive, and it almost wants to pull you through it. And when we were visiting my wife's hometown, her family's hometown, a lot of the doorways simply had beads hanging down. And we got pulled inside one of those beaded doorways one day and introduced to some of her family. It was just amazing to go behind the scene, get through the door. And it just was really amazing. I'm glad you picked that out of all my paintings.
See, you know what, I love when they volunteer. You don't have to tell them, they just get up, they come, they play music. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
I didn't do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next is Anthony Horner. Let's make him feel welcome, everybody. This kid, I can honestly tell you, he is the first person that I've ever known that auditioned for The Voice. Yeah, how very cool is that?
So, the last time I was here, I pulled out the piano for the first time. And my problem is when I write things on piano, I forget them, and then I botch them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm usually a good piano player when I'm at home. But the thing is, when I write songs on piano, I think of these elaborate piano pieces. I'm like, this would sound great with this song. But then the problem arises is that I don't have the coordination to be able to play and sing at the same time. So it all goes to waste. And so what I end up doing is I think of elaborate things to play, and then I end up playing something very simple, because in reality, I'm not going to write something that I can't play, because I'll just be letting myself down. So my piano skills are not the best. I actually usually just come up here on guitar, which my guitar skills are not the best, but who cares? Who's judging? I don't apologize. Okay, so on to the painting that I chose. By the way, oh my god, I was so happy that Lisa was here, because last time this event was held, what was that, December something, she wrote this mind-blowing masterpiece that she called Indigo, and she played this song, and I was like, I am talking to this woman, I am introducing myself, and I walked up to her after the shindig, and I was like, oh my god, you're amazing! I was like pretty much having a fangirl moment, right? So when I saw her return, that was awesome. And she mentioned that she was paying attention to this painting of these three men over here, and I was like, what a goinkadink, because that is the painting I chose. Now, yay! Great minds think alike, what can I say? So my thing is, when we do these events, is when I look at the painting and I think of what I'm going to write about it, I write about something that probably has nothing to do with what actually inspired the painting in the first place. Actually, it's probably on the opposite end of the spectrum, because he said that the Italian people are very friendly. And when I looked at that painting, I was like, I'm going to make them look out. I'm going to make them out to be not very friendly. So, sorry. But anyway, so no, what I noticed in the painting when I looked at it were two of the stairs. I kind of saw them as like sneering. Like, because they're very relaxed, and I was like, in America, if we saw people sitting like that, we would think them pompous. Like, they're just sitting there judging you, you know, not like, you know? And then I saw that the other man isn't even staring at whoever point of view that is, that he's just kind of looking down, not even. And that made me think of my grandfather, because when he gets all red in the face, he just looks away, and I'm like, I did something, I know it. And then I noticed, and I didn't notice this at first, because what I did was I took a picture of the painting. I took it home to be able to write the song. Oh, I thought she was going to tell me to shut up. And then, so I took a picture on my phone, which is stupid. It's not a smartphone, it's a stupid phone, but I'm a stupid person, so we work great together, me and my phone. So I took a picture and went home, which I couldn't notice a lot of details, but when I came back and looked at it one day, if you look so closely into that golden horizon, you can see, just faintly, a city behind there. You can see buildings. Am I wrong or am I right? Yes, and I noticed that, and I was like, there is something out there. And if you just look past the faces of the sneering people, you can see something that no one else is looking at in that horizon. And so, and I also noticed that chair, which will show up, that empty chair back there. I think that's a chair, I don't know, it looks like a chair to me, so it's a chair. And so that birthed this song that has no title. Okay. Well, this is it. got his head hung low. They're giving you that stare, that look that says you'll never get there. They've got their eyes fixed to stare you down, but you got yours fixed on the road. You're not a child anymore. And it's 1,000 miles away, but it shines so bright in the distance. Past their condescending faces, keep your vision steady. You're halfway there already, don't you know? Don't let anybody tell you that it's impossible. You can see that city, you can see those lights, don't they seem so bright? You can hear their scoffs and see their sneers and feel the weight of it all. And there sits that chair empty, but you know someone once believed in you, believed in you too. And it's 1,000 miles away, but it shines so bright in the distance. Past their condescending faces, keep your vision steady. You're halfway there already, don't you know? Don't let anybody tell you it's impossible. One who took the steps they regret they never took. This path is yours and the destination was written on the map just for someone like you. It's 1,000 miles away, but it shines so bright in the distance. Past their condescending faces, keep your vision steady. You're halfway there already, don't you know? Don't let anybody tell you that it's impossible. Lisa's reaction.
Compelled to say, yeah, what Anthony said. No matter what I did, what Anthony said. I have a teenage granddaughter, and I'll pull her earphone off one side and listen to what she's listening to, and I'll say, oh my God, they don't know what words are today. But having Anthony tell us about it first, and then hearing the music, it all makes sense. And although you don't have a clue about what's going on here, it's a damn good song.
That's been said about one or two of us. We don't have a clue what's going on here. Liddy, how about? How's everybody doing tonight? You know, I want to tell you, it's been a long, cold winter around here. We have been trying to have our open mics, and it's 30 below, and then it's 6 inches of snow, and then it's another 30 below. It is such a joy to see all of you here tonight. I was telling Bill earlier tonight, I believe that we have become hardy stock. Nothing's going to hold us back no more. All right. Whoop. Sean's going to get Lenny going. Where'd Lenny go? Come on. Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. Come on. I'm switching it up. One of the things that we do here on Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night, we have open mic night, in case you've never been here before. And every Tuesday night at the Art Center is really terrific. The Songs of Art night is special, but every Tuesday night is fun. And we like to switch it up because this sign-up board here really means nothing. We sign everybody up, and they sign up 5, 8, 12, 13, 18, 20. So we just tell them when to play. It's fun. Fun, right? Yes. So Linny was the first person that came in here. She came in here like the second day the show was on and said, I am going to write a song, and I'm going to do it right now. And she was just so enthusiastic about it. So I'm really anxious to hear what she did. Let's hear it for Linny, everybody.
Go, Lenny.
No, this is the first time I've really ever did anything like this, so I hope it turned out okay. I looked at all the paintings, and I was really, really shocked when I came in here and to see everything watercolor. I have never seen paintings done so intricately with watercolor ever in my life. It's fantastic, and this is like one of the places that I absolutely want to visit. And just looking at these, it feels like I'm really already there. And it was really hard to choose stuff, but as soon as I looked at that one over there with the person in the boat going under the buildings, it kind of made me think, what if that was me there? What if it was somebody else? What if they were taking a trip? Anything like that. And I kind of just sat down and was thinking, and I came up with the song. I didn't know what to call it. I was actually trying to figure it out today, and I called it Dreaming because it actually just feels like I'm in a dream whenever I look at these. It's ridiculous how much color and how vibrant everything is. So hopefully this turned out okay. As I sit, oh God, it didn't turn on. No, I didn't. Hold on. There it is. Yep. As I sit in my boat in Italy, as I take in all the scenery, I finally see that love and beauty lives and breathes here. From the crafted buildings to the gondolas, it is the
The painting that Lenny's referring to is the Ponte Vecchio in Florence. And it's an interesting bridge because it's centuries old, obviously, but the Medici, what we see is a row of windows that runs across the top, and the Medici could sneak out of their dwelling if the trouble arrives, and unforeseen by anybody, they could run through there and get back on the other side of the river before any trouble came to them. And today, it's known for all its gold merchants who have shops that some of them are right on the bridge, but some of them have been attached to the bridge. So the little buildings that are sticking out from the stonework are actually propped up with boards and so forth, so that they kind of hang outside the bridge, and opportunities arise for the individuals to sell merchandise to the tourists. But Lenny did a great job of giving you the basic feeling, I felt, of Italy overall, as well as that bridge.
Hey, George. All right, so this next fellow that's going to sing for you his name is George Prasnitz, and he's my buddy.
Are you my buddy?
Okay. He gave me this really interesting hot red pepper wine this evening. That, yeah, ooh, everybody goes, ooh, it's gone. But if you ever have an experience with red pepper wine, you should take it easy, because it smells like a sweet Niagara, maybe. You're like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be a sweet wine. And you take a sip, and yes, indeed, it is sweet. But then it's a red hot pepper. And it kind of goes whoosh. So, anyway, that was my advertisement for red hot pepper wine. George? I know, you didn't, but he did buy it. And he brought it, and he gave me some, so that was good. Let's hear it for George, everybody.
Okay. I also, third time's a charm maybe, I don't know, chose the three gondoliers, did a rhythmic antidote, it's supposed to be, but I actually was in Italy, and these three fellows happened upon me. So this is my story of that. Sitting in a park one summer day, who did I see walking my way? Three odd-looking fellows there sat across from me. They were three angry gondoliers from Italy. I said, hello boys, what brings you to the park? You got a few hours before this starts. Take a load off and have a seat. You must be tired of rowing in this heat. The first one said, I'm tired of rowing. The second one said, I'm tired of not knowing. The third one sat there and put down his head. For a moment I thought he was dead. why are you tired of rowing your boat? If you got tired, you could let it float. It's not like your boat is gonna sink. It wouldn't sink, I think. The first gondolier said, hey, mind your biz. This is kind of how it is. If you have to ask, you wouldn't understand as you stay up here on your precious land. The second one said as he bit on his nail, you don't know what it's like to be at sail. Why don't you just quit asking stuff? Doesn't it look like we've had enough? The third one just sat there, he didn't make a peep. Was he getting tired? My bad. Was he getting irate or was he asleep? I just couldn't tell because his hat was down. I barely saw his angry frown. I said, hey, gondoliers, why don't you relax? Don't be upset because you wear funny slacks. And your shirts look like you just got out of jail. Does that hat protect you when you're at sail? The first gondolier said, as he stared me down, he said, I'll kick your butt all over this town. If you don't stop talking about what we do, I may be seeing the end of you. I said, sorry, dude, I didn't mean to hurt a feeling. I didn't realize that I was dealing with an angry gondolier who couldn't take a joke. The only thing you can do is give a paddle a stroke. As gondolier 2 was staring into my face, for a moment I thought I might need my mace. He only sent a simple phrase my way. He said, why don't you move along today? I said, sorry, dude, I didn't mean to hurt a feeling. I just didn't know that I was dealing with a gondolier who thought he could sing. When you get on your skiff, I hope you don't sink. I heard a third gondolier make a little mumble. Was he saying something or was it just a grumble? Keeping his head down during his verbal spat. What did you say about my hat? I said, sorry, dude, I didn't try to hurt a feeling. I didn't get the fact that I was dealing with the gondolier who loved his hat. Just cracking jokes, and that is that. As the three gondoliers sat there that eve, I figured it was time for me to get up and leave. I didn't mean to make them so mad. When I'm gone, I bet they'll be glad. They'll go back to their boats and sing a song about a man in the park who done them wrong. It was a situation that could have been scary. Or was it just a painting by Bill Perry? Did you have that experience with them?
George just turned the painting into the movie. That's the soundtrack they're going to use. guys. Actually, they're just waiting for a fare, and they're bored. And I don't think anybody's angry. I think the guy on the left is sleeping. And the other two are just going, are you guys going to go on this going tour or not?
All right. You can always count on George. Up next we have Linda Kramer. And Linda follows her husband Jerry around, and every once in a while Linda gets up and does a poem. And she always surprises us. Oh, and then here comes Jerry up on stage with her. So let's welcome Linda Kramer, everybody. And I think Jerry's going to play some backup. I looked at all these paintings and just kept looking at them. They're all so beautiful and so colorful. And then I came around to the corner here, and I saw that olive tree. And I fell in love with the olive tree, and I could not stop looking at it. So I did a little research on olive trees that I'd like to share with you first before I do my poem. Trees are such a precious gift from the Lord. They not only provide oxygen for us to breathe, but food to eat, wood for building houses and furniture, pulp for paper, fuel for warmth, and shade for rest and recreation. In their great variety, trees provide natural beauty for our eyes to behold. Some species of trees are known for their special qualities. The mighty oak is known for its durability and strength. The whispering pine provides soft hush in the background as the wind blows through its needles. And the weeping willow displays its cascading branches that gracefully sway in the breeze, often overhanging a quiet pond. One of the most remarkable trees is the olive tree. And if you don't know this, olive trees can live for thousands and thousands of years. Most of us are not too familiar with olive trees because they don't grow near where we live. However, in the land of the Bible, it was and is the most important of all the trees because it's a source of food, light, hygiene, and healing. The oil was used to anoint kings, prophets, priests, and temple articles. Messiah, in fact, means anointed one. The wood of the tree was and is used for carvings. 1 Kings 6:23-35 speaks of the hard, beautiful grained wood being used in Solomon's temple. While wild olives are propagated from seeds, cultivated olives are planted using the shoots. In Psalm 128:3 uses this imaginary comparing the children to olive shoots around the table. An olive shoot is also seen in the messianic prophecy of Isaiah. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your sons will be like olive shoots around your table. And Isaiah 11:1 says, a shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots, a branch will bear fruit. That was just to give you a little background. And then as I stared at this tree further, I came up with this poem. The poem is The Olive Tree. I look at you, and I am amazed at your beauty in your giant grooves and crevices. You appear wise and old, and somehow I find comfort in looking at your beauty. Oh, speak to me, old olive tree, and tell me your story, for I want to see and hear what you have seen and heard through your time on this earth. Oh, speak to me
O olive tree. You have been a source of food, light, hygiene, and healing. You have soothed the wounds of soldiers, and your oil has anointed kings and princes. Messiah means anointed one, so I know you are blessed among trees, the chosen tree for the chosen one. Oh, speak to me, O olive tree. The wood of your trees have been used and is used for carvings. You have been here longer than any other trees. You must be blessed among trees. The scriptures speak of your hard, beautifully grained wood being used in Solomon's temple. Oh, please speak to me, O olive tree. If you could only speak and tell me what you have seen, our ancestors' lives and how you saw them and what they did. Your snarled branches tell us you know much. Oh, you don't speak to us with words, but with your bent, grooved body that tells us the story. Oh, speak to me, O olive tree. Your branches rustle in the cool breeze, and I sit and look at you in wonder. How can one tree do so much for so many? Your fruit bears your soothing oils now and in the past. Anoint me with your sacred oil and let me live to know your secrets of healing and life. Oh, speak to me, O olive tree. You are beautiful and wonderful and chosen of the Lord. I respect you and your knowledge. Your beauty is overwhelming, and your powers are of the most holy one. Bless you, O olive tree, and live your long life fully. Mend and protect those who seek your powers. Oh, speak to me, O olive tree. I rest under your presence and peace. I look in the awe at what your trunk and body are telling me. You have seen oh so much, and do oh so much for us. Oh, speak to me, O olive tree. Yes, you are speaking in your own way and time. You are beautiful and stately and say much to all who sit and listen to you. I am listening. I do hear you speak. You give peace to all who listen to your knowledge. You are old and wise and oh so beautiful. Oh, speak to me, O olive tree.
Trees are special. You notice in the painting that I generally make the bottom portion blue and cool and warm towards the top, because that's the feeling you get from the olive trees. That the little bit of shade that each one provides is really wonderful. We were in Italy towards the fall, and it was warm in Italy, but the olive trees give you that kind of comfort. All the space in between the olive trees is usually cultivated so that nothing grows there. It's pretty pristine. And they did allow goats to roam around in and among the olive trees. But I think what was important to me as the artist was that each olive tree that I saw, especially the older ones, the ones that went back probably from generation after generation, they were like portraits, because each olive tree had so many little bumps and nuances to it that it was completely different from its neighbor just a couple yards away. And I don't show much of the top of the olive trees, mainly because there isn't much to the tops of the olive trees. They're mostly just trunk. And I guess they prune them so radically each year that the top never grows all that much. So the bottom continues generation after generation, and the top is what bears the fruit. And in every instance, it's like a portrait. And I think you really captured that. Thank you. And thank you for the back.
All right. So we have a couple more for you. And Up next is Jerry Kramer, who happens to be married to Linda Kramer. It's funny how that works. Okay, I'm not going to go there. Please welcome Jerry Kramer, everyone.
Well, the painting that I chose, I actually had sort of a toss-up between two, and they're both the dock pictures. And the reason that I like the dock pictures is because I have a long history of liking the ocean and the seashore, and my wife had never gone to the seashore until she met me, and we do that almost every year. This year we're talking about going to the mountains, and I think we're going to end up at the seashore again. But I like docks, and I just get a feeling of, I can remember the last time we were on vacation standing out on a pier and just feeling the wind and the wave and the breeze. It was a stormy day, and I'm one of them crazy guys that stand out and take in the full force of the wind and so forth. So the dock pictures I like, and then I got to thinking, well, what can I really write about that? And the sea is always referred to as she, as a woman. I've never seen any literature where the sea was a man, so it's always female. So I figured, well, the dock must be male then. And that gave me the premise for my song, so. Rooted in her sand, the dock of man points to the sea. She can meet his hand. Her boats and toys come into rest, tied on his beam, while he extends a waiting arm, land a sailor's dream, sailor's dream. She rolls and roars and storms along, throws her ships that sail, and brings to shore the shattered frames and beaten bodies frail. And when they meet ports of life, stores to sail once more, I love to stand upon the dock, sail once more, sail once more. Love to stand upon the dock with wind and roaring wave, to feel the freedom and the power that is there to save. Presence of the heavenly earth is swept away. The greatest love is there between dock and land each day. When she will rage no more, he'll find he His life will live directionless, nothing more to care for. So let the sea rave on and pour its beauty on the dock. He's rooted firm within her too. Time release the lock.
We didn't travel every inch of the seashore as we went around Italy, but what did impress us about the seashore that we did see was that the Italians didn't feel like they needed to own that little piece of land that went right down to the ocean, or to the sea on either side. It seemed like the houses were set back, and there were some ancient places that occupied spaces that were close to the seashore. But for the most part, the seashore was your own. It was empty and pristine. And it was different from the way I envisioned the seashore in America, where everybody owns just a little bit of a piece of it, and they try to hang on to that piece. So there are some pictures here that show bays, and you'll see the water's rather calm, or you'll see the water in Florence, in Venice, and it's kind of rough in places, but there are other places where the water was much like we have it here, where you could see surf and rocks, and the way it would look up around Oregon. But people didn't intrude upon it. It was pretty much pristine.
Last but not least, Mr. Dave Kindle is going to do his song for you. Okay. What did you bring? We just need to do a little bit of setup for Dave. So once again, talk amongst yourselves. All right, who's having a good time tonight? Okay, just give us a couple of minutes.
Just a messenger boy.
That's the day you're supposed to wine.
I know where I'm going after this.
I should feel better. Then all I need is one instrument.
So once again, every Tuesday night, hi Ed, it's nice to see you. How are you? Every Tuesday night we do open mic here at the Latrobe Art Center. We have not chosen the date for the next Songs of Art. We'll send an email out and let you know. The gallery change is the first week in March, so everything you see here will come down and we'll hang something new for y'all to enjoy. So it's always something new at the Latrobe Art Center. I do believe Dave looks like he's almost ready. Hold on.
I think at least you can hear me out there, right?
First of all, I'd like to say that this is my, I guess, third Pictures for Artists. And I want to thank Gabby and Warren and Joe and everybody that put this together, because I think this is just a fantastic. Lauren. Oh, much. I'm going to be quiet the whole time. Unusual for me. So anyway, I was kind of shocked the first time I did this because two people picked the same picture. And I thought out of the hundreds that we had available, that was kind of unique, different. But then I sat here this evening and found how many people wrote about the gondoliers. When I found out it was going to be music and picture night, I was sitting in the back there, and I glanced up at that picture, and the first line of this song came to me. And so I went home, and I figured I'd try to see if it leads anywhere, because it sometimes doesn't. But when it led somewhere, then I called Lauren, and I said, okay, I'm on. And about a day after that, I lost my voice for almost 2 months. I wasn't sick, but I couldn't sing. But it seems like last week maybe I'm coming around. So this song is about the 3 men over there.
Let's hear it for the gondoliers.
Yeah. I didn't see them as angry. I didn't see them as mean. I saw them as friends. That's the name of the song. What can we say when we've told all our lies and we don't need to look into each other's eyes to know what is the truth and what's a disguise for the world? So many moments have been here and gone, the wind and the rain and the dusk and the dawns, and we seem to grow older as we go along every day. We sit here in silence like mimes in the park. The distance between us seems total and stark, yet we feel that we're close together at heart as can be. We don't have to one-up or boast to each other. We know that forever we'll always be brothers from some other binding that brought us together to be.
Hey. Ever wondered when you look at paintings how you can judge what a good painting is versus what a bad painting is? Well, there's an artist whose work I really admired. His name is Tony Couch. He said, first of all, a good painting should stir your soul. And the second reason for a good painting is that it should tell a story. And if one painting tells a story, it's certainly that one. That sounds rather immodest of me, but evidently it stirs a lot of rhetoric.
Could I just ask that we give everybody that participated in the Songs of Art tonight a big old round of applause? And then can I just ask that we give Mr. Bill Perry a big old round of applause? I was just telling Joe back in the kitchen, this is my favorite night. I think it is so beautiful and so inspiring, and if I could paint, I would go home and paint, but I can't. Damn it. So,
You sure, kids?
I'll go home and write something, maybe, I don't know. So, that's the end of the Songs of Art. However, we've got